Good morning. Make sure I'm live. Can't really tell. Yep. All right. Facebook thinks I'm live, and I think Zoom thinks I'm live. So I'm ready to go. Streaming live on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. Remember, on Mondays, we do a mindset related Facebook Live. On Wednesdays, we do a skill set related Facebook Live. So it's 7 o'clock last night on a Tuesday. I've had a long day of webinars and talking to lots of agents. We do a Tuesday webinar for agents at our brokerage at EXP. We had almost 35 people on the webinar Tuesday night at 5. Get off about 6:30. My wife is running the kids around to baseball practice. It's 7 p.m. and I've had something on my calendar for about 2 weeks that I'm really excited for. It's a webinar being broadcast live, a live webinar featuring Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Russell Brunson. And Russell is the founder of a company called ClickFunnels. If you've never heard of ClickFunnels, go check them out. They're probably one of the most powerful and dominant internet-based marketing startup companies I've seen in a long time. Super worth the research. And not to be boastful, but while Tony's talking and Dean's talking and the subject that they're talking about, like, I've been talking about it for years. And more specifically, I've been working in that area for the last probably 6 to 12 months. And that made me really excited because I love Tony Robbins. And just to see and hear what he's thinking about and what's coming in this world from a skill set standpoint and all that sort of stuff was really cool. So one of the things that they talked about was the failure of the traditional education system and how schools are not serving our children anymore in the way that they need to be served and not arming them with all the skills that they need to be armed with. And for anybody who knows me and has listened to me or gotten drunk with me, like, I talk about education all the time, dating back to almost 10 years ago. One of my first startup companies was working actually on breaking the traditional education system. And we started with continuing education for adults. Shout out Tanya, if you're listening, Jay Weddle, Paul O'Brien. And I was doing it because I believed that education needed to be disrupted and there was different ways we should learn now. And there's different skills we should be building. And I feel like the traditional education system doesn't afford an opportunity for our kids to learn those skills. So I'm going to talk about a skill. And what's funny is this is a fundamental skill that you practice a little bit, as a kid. Like, I always go back to the word problems because I think the most important skills in the world today right now, because of all the information we have, are related to problem solving. Like, I think that's one of the number one, big skills you can have, and that will give you an opportunity to be successful in any journey you take, right? Problem solving. And then there are more specific skills that are more niche and, that require like a lot of expertise. And even again, like, I think the traditional education system's not giving you that. They're not giving you a lot of expertise. They're not giving you deep knowledge. Even in college, as recently as when I went to college in 99, like, even inside my discipline, like, you just didn't get enough deep expertise, and you definitely didn't get it quickly enough. And what's crazy is nowadays there's an opportunity to go get knowledge in any area you want extremely quickly. You don't have to go through a year of courses. You don't have to go through 4 years of courses. You could watch 2 days worth, immerse yourself in 2 days worth of YouTube videos, or 3 hours of reading blog posts and YouTube videos and podcasts. And you could have more expertise in a certain subject than most people have acquired in their entire life, because very few people have immersed themselves for 2 days in a subject. And I think that's unbelievable. However, there's an underlying skill that I think is required in order to really do that. And I think this skill is really important in a lot of areas, especially in entrepreneurship. But really, if you think about it, in any profession, I think the skill is really relevant. And the skill, and like I said, it's funny because Tony and Dean were talking about this yesterday as kind of like one of the first pieces to the product that they were offering. It was a cool product. But the first thing they talked about was extraction. So when you think extraction, what do you think of? You might think of like pulling troops out of a war zone, extraction. You might think of like the movie where the helicopter's coming in and they're extracting and there's a ladder dropping down, and things going off everywhere, bombs and missiles and gunfire and danger, and somebody's like trying to get the ladder and it's like swinging and they're like reaching up for it, just trying to get that ladder. And voice can still be recorded, but the voice of other participants. Extraction. Or you might think of like a tooth, like a tooth getting removed, like going to the dentist and it's really painful and they got to pull that tooth. That's another way to like think about extraction. So now let's shift gears and talk about extracting knowledge and ideas and information and strategies and tactics, because we hold so much knowledge as individuals, you know, in every profession. And the web and social media hold massive amounts of that knowledge because we're all able to be publishers now. We can all put it out there. And there's books and there's podcasts and there's YouTube and there's Google and there's websites. And that might seem like bombs going off and missiles flying at your head and gunfire everywhere and danger and casualties. It might seem like a war zone to some of you. But the bottom line is you still have to be able to grab that ladder if you want to be successful, and you have to grab it amidst all that chaos. And so in order to develop expertise in an area or to go acquire some baseline knowledge that you need to be skilled in the process of extraction. So let's like unpack how you can get skilled or how you can extract maybe. And let me say this, let me back up. So extraction is a skill. The ability to go into a situation or a place or a subject matter and pull out what you need is super duper important. You're a nurse and shit's going down and you're in the ER and the doctor hasn't slept and there's people screaming, there's 4 people talking to you. You need the information that's going to help save that patient's life, right? You have to be skilled in extraction. And you probably are, because you're in that environment every day. And if you're not, you're going to have to get good in order to be able to deliver results. You're in real estate sales and you've got a unruly client and they are shouting orders and commands and being rude and disregarding your leadership and not following the process. You need to be able to extract what you need from all the other parties, them included, to be able to like serve it back and push them through the process or pull them through the process, right? You are an entrepreneur and you're trying to sell something online or you're trying to build a brand. You need to be able to extract from your audience what matters to them and what's important and the stuff that they're looking for. And that takes a skill. Okay, so the first key component of extraction is actually research. So if you guys didn't watch the research Facebook Live that I did here last week, go on my YouTube channel, please. It's youtube.com/CurtisDixon and go watch the research video, because that's step 1 of extraction. You have to find your sources of information. Like when you were a kid and you were writing papers or college, you had to go find your sources. You used to have to go to like the library and then the internet. Internet sources didn't count, but now they count. So like you got to go find your sources. So your sources usually are 1 of 3 people, 1 of 3 places, right? You've got the web for information all over, social media, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Then you've got the people. Like if you can go get the people, the first-hand source, that's typically one of the best ways to extract. Go find an expert. Do whatever you have to do to be able to talk to them. And then you need to extract. You need to just ask questions, listen, and extract, pull from them what you need. So you've got the web, you've got the people, and then you've got like the traditional resources, or not even traditional. Then you've got the books, the podcasts. Like books and podcasts to me are the other things, right? They're not necessarily on the web. They're physical, sort of, you got to go get them, books and podcasts. So you got web, people, books, and podcasts. So let's talk about the web's easy, right? I hope. Go watch research videos, show you how to do it on the web. Podcasts and books, probably easy as well, right? Buy them, pick them, download them, listen to them. The people is a little bit harder. The people is like, well, how do I go extract from people? Well, first of all, if you passionately care about getting better at that subject matter, I guarantee if you went to the experts in that subject matter and you said, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about this subject matter. Can you make 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour for me? They will. Go to the richest guy you know and say, I'm trying to get better at my finances, and I'm trying to build wealth for my family. Would you sit down with me for 30 minutes? And if you do something for me, what can I do for you? Right? Go do that. They'll do it. Talk to 10 people. So like that's how Tony Robbins wrote a book. He just went and talked to like the 50 wealthiest people in the world, extracted all their information from them. In the process, he got wealthier, and he brought a ton of good information that he could use and give back to people, right? So that's the other cool thing about extraction is once you're really good at it, it doesn't only serve you, it serves others. It serves everybody in your life. It benefits all the other people. So go to those people. And that's step one. So like if you haven't done step one, but you're trying to extract some information, go do step one. Online, people, podcasts, and books. Go extract. Step two, and I think this is super critical. Super critical. Have you ever seen the best students in the class taking notes? Yeah, almost all the time. Because once you extract, how the hell are you going to remember it if you don't put it down somewhere? Put it down. Write it down. Spit it out in a voice memo. Email it to yourself. Put it in your notepad. I'm not bragging about myself, but I do think extraction is one of my super special skills. Look at my notes. Like, that's just from daily life. That's not a seminar or course. Like, there's 263 notes in my iCloud. Like, because I take massive amounts of notes in every single subject. I'm watching a video. It should be around a minute long. The intro song's called Move Out. Check out the links here. YouTube trailer, because I'm studying how to get better at YouTube. So like, if you're studying something and you extract that information, you better write it down or document it or put it somewhere. That's part two, right? So it's pull it out, put it down. Part three, super important as well. And this is like the round out to extraction because it doesn't count. Back to that ladder, right? The ladder's coming, you're trying to grab it, the shit's going down. That's extraction. That's step one, right? Figure out your source. There's the ladder, there's the copter. Okay, I don't need to grab anything over here. I need to grab here. Okay, so that's step one. Grab the ladder, I've got it, I'm holding on. That's step two. Well, step three is they've got to pull out. You know, the helicopter has to take off and you got to fly away and get out of there, right? So step three in extraction is you've actually got to do something with it or try it, you know, and that's like everybody saying, oh, putting it into practice and all that stuff. To me, it's the completion of the extraction process. If you don't go tell anybody or you don't go say it somewhere or use it or write it down, what you extracted is pretty much worthless. Like it doesn't matter because even if you write it down and you put it away, you'll forget it. You won't read it again. You won't go back and look at it. But if you write it down and then do it right away, it's awesome. Like it just the stuff that matters sinks in and works. And that's where extraction gets really important. So I'm going to go back to like that nurse analogy. I don't know why I'm thinking about nurses today, but like that nurse analogy, right? You extract the information right away from the doctor, from the patient, from everything that's going on. And then you may not write it down because you're in the heat of the moment, but you put it right into action, or you will write it down in the chart so that the next person can read it so that it can actually get out there and get done, right? Like, so extraction, super big skill. You know, and it comes back to some simple stuff too, you know, even like strip that down one layer back, listening and reading and watching. You know, those are like the little things that I can teach my young son. But have you ever asked, you know, I'm not clowning Jackson, he's amazing, but have you ever asked like an 11-year-old to read something like on the web and just try to watch where their eyes go? You'd be surprised. Not all kids read it left to right, like most of us probably do. Not all kids read it in a frame, which is kind of the second way that I read things on the web. Oftentimes their eyes just jump here, 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 here. Like, how are they going to extract the information they need if they're not being taught or shown how to do it? And same thing goes for you. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about or you have trouble extracting information, like, you need to strip that one layer back and you need to get better at reading the web or listening to audio or watching videos and pushing pause and writing stuff down. That's a super important skill, guys. I know this was a 16-minute long live. Just really fired up about this today because I loved that webinar last night because it's talking about stuff that I really, really believe in and I really think is important for all of us. And, you know, for all my realtor friends out there, I absolutely love you guys. I want to do more real estate content. I really do. Hit my YouTube channel, please. There's how-to stuff on real estate. I've got a Monday sales mastermind that I'm running with my buddy Kyle Handy, and we've got agents from all across the country jumping in. Doesn't matter what brokerage you're at. If you want to come talk real estate sales in a mastermind format, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central. I can drop the link in the comments if you want it. The podcast is out. There's an amazing interview today with Tara, a good friend of mine, amazing agent from the Northeast. Go check that out. And if there's anything I can do to help, guys, let me know. I love you guys. Happy Wednesday. That's your Skill Set Wednesdays, talking about getting better at extraction. See y'all later.